walk right on through, everyone. I'll get some more lights on. I'm Crystal. I'll be the one guiding you through on the heritage route. So if you have any questions, please do feel free to ask. But do keep in mind the cave, it's a national monument. If you have cameras or cell phones, flash photography is allowed. No problem with that. But any questions so far?
So how old are these caves?
About 20 million years, give or take.
Wow.
Yeah. And the first person to inhabit the cave, first and only, is the display we have up here of the Khoisan. Now, plus minus 10,000 years ago, they moved into this part of the cave, making it their home. But as far as we know, it was only this part of the cave. We didn't find any evidence deeper to prove that they were there. It could have been, but there's no way to prove it. But the display, it's up to scale. That's the ideal height for a cave. Just no evidence to say they went deeper. All the evidence found up here, the weapons, the pottery, that was moved to museums. Paintings faded. That was due to constant touching. So now we're left with a display, just to give you a basic idea of how they lived. But while they remain up here, we're going a bit deeper into the cave. Let's give you an idea of what we are doing. The map behind you. This is 1.2 kilometers of the cave. It's known as Cango 1. We are doing 500 meters of that, so that would be the yellow and the green part. It should take us about an hour to 2 weeks to complete. Do you have the time? I'm just joking. So we will head onto the pathway. Up the stairs leads us out of the cave later. And at the end of the route, I'll once again explain to you which route to follow, how exactly to do it. I won't leave you behind in the dark. Now everyone, this is our first chamber. It is the largest of the heritage route, and this was named after Jacobus van Zyl. He was a local farmer using the same entrance as us, yet no stairs or railing to help him down. So they lowered him, if we look back to where we entered from. And the only source of light, it was a tiny oil lamp, similar to the red. You really couldn't see much with it. First, I'd like to explain the formations found throughout the cave system. There's flowstone and dripstone formations. So if we have a look in the torchlight, there we have a flowstone formation. These are formed when you have a crack in the ceiling. It allows water to gradually start seeping through. Excuse me, sir. Sorry, the torchlight is confusing everyone else. So once I'm done with mine, you're more than welcome to use yours. Right, so it forms when you have a crack in the ceiling, allowing water to seep through. But that water containing calcium carbonate, that's deposited against the wall. So building up crystallizes, forming that formed stone, which is nicknamed the organ pipes, about 800,000 years. Following the light, we have the drip stone formations, consisting of stalactites growing from the ceiling downwards. This is the largest stalactite on the wall, nicknamed the dry tobacco leaves of Oudtshoorn. And the opposite, the stalagmite. Stalagmites need water from the tides to start growing from the ground upwards. And that's the tallest stalagmite on the route, standing at about 9 meters, nicknamed Cleopatra's Needle. 160,000 years, give or take. And away from all the formations, everyone, I'd like to get your attention to what we're standing on. I'll use a torchlight to show you. Now let's start from the top end and follow the light in my direction. This is the remains of a stage. And what we'll use as the exit later, it used to be a choir stand. So stage and choir stand we have due to the amazing acoustics. Concerts were held from 1964 to 1994 and then eventually stopped due to vandalism. During intervals, people ventured off into other chambers. They broke formations off, and those were taken home as souvenirs. This is all we have to remind us of concerts, unless one of you would like to sing. Shortest tour of your life if I do, sir. You're going to sing? No? Okay, a definite no it seems. All right, what I'm going to do for you then, I'm most definitely not singing. I will, however, take you back in time by turning off the lights, and it's only for a few seconds, everyone, no longer. We'll focus on the red light behind you. I'll get the rest. There you go, 1780, the 11th of July. But for us, so much better. Here we go. We're back to the modern day and age. Really. The chamber's all yours. Feel free to walk around, everyone. Take some photographs. I'm in the chamber with you if you have any questions. All yours. Let's see. Nice way, please. Second chamber, everyone. It was discovered 12 years after the first, so back in 1792. The later discovery, that is due to the passage we used between these two chambers, it was blocked off by a clay wall. So in 1964, excavated. And all that clay was used filling up the first, the passage, and the second chamber's floors to make it more accessible. Now the discoverer of the second chamber, that was Louis Oudtshoorn. The tunnel system was used by him starting from the first chamber. Left of the organ pipes, that's where he climbed up, with the help of ropes and ladders. Eventually, if you look up front, his exit point was there. There he made his way through, everyone. But I say, rather him than us. Yeah? Much easier for us these days. Now, once water entered the chamber, he discovered the type of formation known as a column, and that you find behind you as we entered. There's the column, which forms when stalagmite and tight eventually joins. That's the thicker point. And this formation, nicknamed the Leaning Tower of Pisa, give or take 270,000 years. The one next to it, that's a double column. It's two single columns that join because the formation could no longer go height. there was no space to do so. So this one started growing in wood, joining. And you'll find that it has a crack above. That was caused by the formation's weight. It partially formed on a clay bank, so it gradually sagged, cracking above. Yet very stable as it is though. Fortunately for us. The huge one up here, a combination of dripstone and flowstone formations, nicknamed the petrified weeping willow tree, about 1.5 million years. And all of these formations that I've mentioned, right, they say these are found in the most beautiful chamber on the route. So if you have a look within, I think you might decide for yourselves, just get the lights. There you go.
Wow.
So that's the Boertis chamber, everyone. Feel free to get some photographs. Oh, and while you're doing that, I'll explain the colors to you. So you take your photos, I'll just borrow your ears. The colors you see, that's the mineral in the limestone. The grey-black of the ceiling, this is manganese oxide. The red rusty brown, iron oxide or mud. Mud was washed into the cave by water. The green, however, only a natural color. And that's algae caused by heat from the lights, body heat, and carbon dioxide. So by turning off the lights when we leave a chamber, we try to minimize or stop the growth of it. And we won't ever ask you to stop breathing. It's taking it a few steps to form. Ladies, gentlemen, we now find ourselves in the rainbow chamber. You probably guessed the name now. Yeah, the name of the chamber was given due to the different type of lights, the color lights we have in here. But these type of lights were found throughout the cave. In 1995, removed. And that is due to many visitors that wanted to see the formations in just a white light. Now we've left this chamber with these type of lights. And this is basically to take you back in time. And to take you further back below, starting in the red. This is a pathway used by earlier visitors. And back then, it took them about a half an hour up to an hour to make their way between chambers. Probably taking us 2, maybe 3 minutes doing that now. The reason it took earlier visitors longer, they entered a very dark cave, tiny oil lamp, and all these pathways, wet, muddy, slippery, holes of between 9 to 10 meters deep, they have to maneuver around. Now fortunately we have everything to help us. That makes our tours a bit easier, right? And I say a bit because of the adventurous tour, the climbing, the crawling and the sliding, the one we won't be doing. The details will follow though. We're close to that part of the cave, so I'll hold on to the details. But for this chamber, you're welcome to get photographs if you like. And once you are done, you may lead the way. This time, please. If you don't mind, that is. If we follow the torchlight, there you go. They're tiny, yet aged. Sorry, the cave is in a semi-desert climate. Right? So the age of these formations, between 4 up to 500 years. That's why they are that tiny, yet aged because of the much drier area or climate. We also impact the growth of the formations due to our body heat from the lights, and the algae absorbs most of the moisture. But what I wanted to show you, the formations do continue, right? They're still growing, just very, very slowly. The growth rate, 1 millimeter per 100 years.
Wow.
Let's see. There's only one out of the whole batch active. Okay, I've spotted the active one. I'm just going to see if there's any more. No, it's just the one. There you go. So you'll see it has a bit of a white tip to it.
Yeah.
And there's the droplet. Okay. And that white or off-white, that's the natural color of limestone. Clearly the droplet is there, which shows us that the growth does continue. But a millimeter per 100 years, excruciatingly slow. The lower growth rate we have in Cango 1. This is the part we're able to venture through, consisting of the heritage and the adventurous one. So that's 1.2 kilometers with 4.1 kilometers entirely closed off. Specifically, the damage over the years. Other than earlier visitors breaking formations off, they were writing on formations. Oh, here it is. Where the ceiling was low enough, they tried scorching their names onto the ceiling as well. And to prevent this type of damage, they had the rest of the caves closed. So it's 4.1 kilometers, Cangos 2, 3, and 4. There is growth of every type of formation. Now that gives you 5.3 kilometers. We are fortunate enough to still be able to venture to Cango 1. So yes, lucky us. Let's see on the other side. Another. Stand very good, and another. As we enter the last chamber, into the cave. At 700 meters deeper, down the staircase, the adventurous part lies below. Now this is the one we won't be doing, but I'd like to give the details. And the staircase, nicknamed Jacob's Ladder, or the warm-up session. 172 stairs, leading you to 4 tunnels, and the very first lumbago alley. Now that's the largest one, where taller people, they usually get onto their knees to get in the tunnel. But you walk through it, that's in a crutch. Second is the Tunnel of Love. And it is narrower than the first, so you walk through sideways in certain sections. But after each tunnel, you can stand upright, stretch your legs, before heading on to the Devil's Chimney. And that's a vertical climb for 3 meters. The tunnel widens to the top. And the letterbox, you have to slide on your tummy to get through. About 2 meters. And the entrance, only the entrance of it. That's 27 centimeters in height. Yeah? About 30 centimeters in width. And when your head is through, you'll notice it's 3 times bigger within, so it's much wider. It's higher, allowing you enough space to move about within it. Yet once you have finished with the 4, you return through the first 2. So the Tunnel of Love, Lumbago Alley, and Jacob's Ladder, or the warm-up session, that brings you back. These, there you go, they're transparent. And the transparency, it's due to the fact that all formations, they are built up out of calcite crystals. So the crystals pick up the light, and that allows us to see it on the other side. But this has a reddish-brown tint. And that's due to the iron oxide or the mud impurities that's found within the stone. So if it wasn't present, you'd have a white glow, and that's due to the light of the torch. But clearly there, the red-brown. And I can't exactly hand you a formation to take home with you as a souvenir. That's when they send me home. That won't be at the end of the day. So the best I'm leaving you with are memories, photographs, and the information I shared.